massive thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. PCBWay are your one-stop solution for all of your DIY project needs. They offer all kinds of different PCB printing options, including multi-layered PCBs and flexible ones. As well as that, they are now offering CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and even injection molding. Check out PCBWay using the link in the description.
I bought 2 fake Nintendo Switches from China. Let's check them out. Both of these cost £30, which is a little bit under $40. One of them's a little bit smaller and looks a bit like a Switch Lite, and then this one obviously looks very much like a Nintendo Switch. This one even has a fake Nintendo Switch logo. Massive games, 7-inch large screen, higher definition, more fun. Is it more fun? Is it more fun than a Nintendo Switch? That is what we will find out. AI runs smoother. Supports high definition output function for TV. So it does actually switch. That's exciting. Quad-core Cortex A7 up to 1.2 gigahertz, 64 gigabyte storage capacity, 2000 milliamp hour battery. Who knows if any of that is true. So far, we've got 2 very different things going on here. This one feels horribly cheap. I mean, both physically, the fact that it's mini USB to charge it versus the USB-C on this one, portable multimedia player written on the back. It's never a good sign. And it also has the sort of fake leather print that you'd see on like the dashboards of old cars, which is really bizarre. We've got speakers on the back there. The joystick is absolutely horrendous. It's the one that sort of like slides around rather than this one that rolls around. And this one feels like a legit Nintendo joystick. It's absolutely beautiful. Although the buttons on this one do let it down a little bit, whereas this one has slightly nicer buttons. But the thing is with buttons is they're all kind of personal preference. And yes, look at the state of that lag. Whereas this one, beautifully smooth and snappy. So far, I'm holding out all the hopes that this one is going to be good. Let's take a look at what it can play. So we've got NES, HAX, Game Boy, Super Famicom, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Sega Genesis, Game Gear, Mega Drive, Neo Geo Pocket Color, PlayStation. Oh my goodness me, all games, and then it tells us we've got 19,663 games here, and then there's a bunch of other ones. Look at this, Sony PSP. Grand Theft Auto. This works absolutely flawlessly. The emulation is really not that bad. There seems to be no graphical glitches. The sound... Okay, that's not not a good time to turn it up. The buttons feel great. The joystick feels good. I'm not a very good driver, but yeah, this is surprising. £30. Just remember that for a second. We're playing PSP on a device, and if we just press start, maybe start and select together. There we go. And you can have save states and load states, obviously. We can press quit game, and then that's going to take us straight back out into the menu. On the other hand, why is it GBA games and then you click on it and it's all the games? All of the games. 18,700. It's got NES games in here as well. Okay, I'm going to try and find a Game Boy Advance game. Is there a search? Oh, there is a search. There we have it. Okay, there they are. All of the Game Boy Advance games. There are 31 of them. The emulation isn't too bad. Oh, I'm bad, but that's something else entirely. Yeah, the emulation isn't too bad. It sounds pretty good. And it doesn't look too bad. I mean, the screen's nice and colourful. I just think that there's a very obvious winner so far. Let's go back to this one for a second. I'm curious to see it running PlayStation 1 games. That sounds way too good to be true. This is PlayStation 1 running on this 30 quid little handheld. Look at how smooth it is. Oops, sorry mate. Don't put in a claim. I've got 2 years, no claims. This is actually fantastic. One slight downside is that my fingers are where the speaker holes are on the back, but if you just remember and move them, it's not uncomfortable at all. I suppose it is a concern that it's where my fingers sit naturally, but maybe other people won't have that problem. I do have quite big hands. This was £30, and all of this stuff is already just on here, which there's a lot to be said about that, because a lot of these handhelds nowadays are really complicated and confusing. And some people just don't want to spend that much money on something and they want it to just work, you know? Who knows how long this will last for? You know, it is just a device from AliExpress, but as of right now, if it lasts like this for a year or two, you've got your money's worth. Look at this. On the other hand, let's bring in the X80 and see what other monstrosities this thing has. Okay, here we go. Right, so GBA games, except it's not GBA games, it's just all games. Let's see what else it has on here. So we've got NES. Wait, surely there's a better way for us to find what games it has on here, other than to just scroll down the list of 19,000 games. Wait a minute. It's got Sha-La-La and Take Me to Your Heart.mp3. I'm in the wrong place. Get me out of here. What's on the photos, though? Oh, it's just got a wallpaper. Or a picture of a person in a starry sky at Christmas time. What is going on? Video? We're in the wrong part. We should be reviewing the games, but I'm curious. Let's see. Astro Boy? Has it got the whole movie? No, it's just got 49 seconds of it. Video? A Little Boy in Paris. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Okay, so it's the Rugrats. Right, turn that down. We really need to get this into the right scale because it's currently very stretched. Okay, we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to screen size, scale. There we have it. Okay, a little bit better. Right, let's see how Game Boy Color games run on the X80. Can I knock down a single one? Is this the hardest game that's ever existed? What am I doing wrong here? I hit one! I hit another one! Look, I suppose it works. It does work, but I mean, it's severely let down by how impossible it is to find a game. We've got Super Famicom and it's just .sfc. That means we can find the other Super Nintendo games. .sfc. Here we go. Search. 118. Okay, right, now we're talking. Let's have a look at Super Nintendo games. Does it play Doom? No. Listen to the audio and look at the lag. It is unplayable. I'm really curious on this one to give Nintendo 64 a go and Game Boy Advance. Let's take a quick look at some of the Nintendo 64 games. Super Smash Bros. Yes. Ooh. Wait a minute. Audio glitches. No. I was so hopeful. But it does actually play. Let's see if it's just the audio, if it is actually also the game too. Oh no. No. Super Smash Bros. Was asking too much of it. Why is Link not moving? Link? Is N64 where this thing just stops working? Maybe we'll try a different N64 game. Let's try Doom and see if it does better than that one. But this is for the N64, so remember, it should be a much harder game to run. But is it going to have the same sound issues? Yes. Look at it slowly loading in. Okay, let's give up. Right, I think it's fair to say N64... not good. I hate to say it, that's disappointing. Let's give Game Boy Advance a try. It displays everything in such a lovely way. Look, it's got the game and it's got sort of a screenshot of it. Zelda Minish Cap for the Game Boy Advance. Let's see how it does. There was a little bit of a flicker, by the way, on this screen, but I've just adjusted the shutter speed and it's gone now. That wasn't there in real life. This all sounds absolutely perfect, and it looks brilliant too, and the screen size as well is lovely. So maybe some of the systems on here are going to be a little bit of a stretch, but remember, it ran PS1 and PSP perfectly, and this is Game Boy Advance, and this looks absolutely great. Look at that. Yeah, that is flawless. Oh man. Well, there we have it. What an interesting couple of products. I really like this one. It's a shame that it's a little bit bad quality, but you know, we're so wrapped up in all the metal and fancy plastic that something like this, which is just gonna work. Okay, it's not gonna run everything perfectly, but what can you expect for £30? And everything was already done for you, and all of the games were on here. That, to me, seems like a pretty good deal. This one...
Okay, so I was going to do a bit where I just threw it in the bin, but I thought I'd plug it in just to show you it working. And look, I found a bloody PlayStation 1 game. And what's crazy, it doesn't look half bad, and it works. Okay, I'm using my elbow to steer and I'm doing pretty well. My final thoughts are that they both sort of work. It's £30 or about $40, and some stuff will work, other stuff won't, but this does not look half bad. I'm actually kind of surprised. Fair play.